Get started. Call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll start with a roll call. Ms. Kwiatkowski,
Here.
Ms. Husser, Mr. Meyerholtz,
Here.
Mr. Babcock,
Here.
Mr. Warner.
Here.
We have a motion to excuse Mr. Easterwood.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? With that, has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Any changes or corrections?
Can I request that we add to miscellaneous business and under reports under upcoming meetings, just discussion on changing the safety meeting date?
Anything else? All right, and what about the minutes from the previous council meeting? Has everyone had a chance to review those? Is any corrections, changes? Additions? We have a motion to mark those as read.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we have, of course, Mr. Pemberton here with Suburban Natural Gas for some public awareness and safety talk.
Mayor Schroeder, Ms. Mons, members of council, thank you so much for having us. Yes, here, also with our senior field ops manager, Matt Ziegler. We just wanted to touch again on our annual meeting, predominantly on safety, but also too, from a field operations standpoint, we had our leak survey conducted here in 2023. Anything that needed to be addressed was addressed. And then we also had that mainline replacement over there from Walnut and Silver Street all the way to the railroad tracks. If I'm not mistaken, Matt. Before we jump into our public awareness message, any questions as far as field operations are concerned, please?
Yes.
Please.
Your last project over on Taylor and off of Broadway.
Yep.
You went behind some homes off of Broadway towards 235. And it was brought to our attention, which I talked to the village administrator about it. So I don't know whether he contacted you months ago about it, but it came up again the other day. When you dug through there was some drainage tile that you cut through. And I don't believe anything was addressed to take care of the issues of cutting those drainage tiles.
First time hearing about it, so
We'll get on it.
If you just take a look at it, it's my understanding there was at least 4 places that it was
severed.
severed.
We got it. We've got to address it.
Yeah. My question was actually along the same lines of how do we work with you to make sure something like that doesn't happen? Is there something that we can do to?
Well,
I know our
so
lines.
you guys know where the stuff's at, and you probably don't, just like any other village.
Yeah.
Knowing where those are until you cut them.
Right.
But then finding them and fixing them properly. I mean, that is our responsibility regardless. That's
Okay.
because we find stuff that's unknown to anybody also. Sometimes when you cut them, they may not be in very good shape.
Sure.
So then it brings the question, okay, is this even worth replacing? Now, on our hand, we've told our guys, doesn't matter, fix it
Right.
regardless. That way, if you guys find other issues, but,
Right. And for instance, we do have, at least, this year we did, we have kind of a working budget for working with stormwater. And so those would be like awesome things to like know about. And I've had a talk with the administrator about that. And I think, we just want to maybe implement some kind of like review with you, like on a per project basis. Is that typical in any other communities?
sort of. I mean, I guess there again, just depends on whether most villages unfortunately just don't know where their storm sewer goes.
Right. And we're guilty of a little bit of that,
Just because of
we're
where
still,
they're at.
yep.
But there again, if it is known, it doesn't mean that we won't get into them either.
Mhm.
I approach it as, it doesn't really matter whether you know it or we know it. Once we find them, we have to fix them
Okay.
regardless.
Well, we'll get you the location.
The only thing I would say is if we had another project that your administrator probably touch base with the construction crew that's there.
Mhm.
99.9 times it's our own crew. Those both for those projects was our own crew.
Yeah, that's good to know.
We can get those handled fairly quickly.
Okay.
And if we've cut them, they'll show their head. I mean, they'll be washouts typically. Is that what's happened down through there, I'm assuming?
The person that identified it, or the two people that identified it, no, I guess after you went through and cut through, there was the actual clay tiles were on top of the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But do we know whether they were, is there washouts? Because those were probably fixed is what I'm guessing. Doesn't mean they were, but typically when those.
That's why I'm asking the questions. I don't know.
Yeah, because we won't put clay tile
We can
back
make
in.
them-
We'll put plastic
Close that
in
loop.
those clay sections. So maybe there has been these have been addressed when we went through.
If you did address on that project, would that be noted anywhere?
Good question. Probably not as well as it should have been.
Okay. Nothing even like, oh, this was a material that was used that would only be used to,
There should have been a material list on that part, so I can look back. to
that might be an
see.
easy way to
Yeah,
just alleviate any concern.
We try to get the guys to take pictures when they're going through those
Okay.
as best as we can. But yeah, they will, I mean, even clay or plastic tile that we've tore through, you'll see the old sitting up on top.
Great. All right. Yeah.
I will walk through there. Like I said, that's been a year now. If there was any issue, well, I know of an issue from 1962. It shows their heads. We had a tile that washed out. It took quite a few years, but eventually they show their ugly head. So even if me saying this today, 2 years from now, something happens, all of a sudden there's a washout, we'll come out, see where our line is to verify that it, was or wasn't our problem, and we'll fix it if it was.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good direction.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman. Matt Ziegler's as thorough as they come. Again, chances are we probably have closed that loop, but in the event that we haven't, no matter what, you're going to get a follow through.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that's all squared away. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. And again, first time Matt had ever heard of it. That being said, that's a perfect segue into our public awareness message with always asking that everyone call that Ohio Utilities Protection Service every time, if you could please, within 48 hours, that 811 before you do any kind of excavation, whether that's putting in a deck, mailbox, you name it. Signs of escaping gas. If you smell that rotten egg smell, that mercaptan that we place in natural gas. If you were to see possibly an area of dead vegetation, maybe some blowing dirt coming out of a crack in the ground, possibly some bubbling coming out of a pond. If you were to hear any kind of a hissing sound, possibly even a roaring sound, not necessarily with our pipes, but with larger transmission pipes, those all could be indicators of escaping natural gas, that a line might be hit, or we just have escaping natural gas coming off a gas line. All that we ask is that you please leave the area, preferably upwind, and when you're away from a safe distance, that you call us, the natural gas company, and or 911. We'll come out and we'll fix it. We'll make sure everyone's safe. So again, our partnership with you as public officials, with our emergency responders, that really goes a long, long way, because that continues to be the leading cause of gas leaks, of hit lines, is not calling before you dig. So we just want to keep on reinforcing that message to everyone and keep everyone safe. And again, Ms. Montz, I will, the Village of Weston continues to be one of our more robust villages. We'll get that community development out to you, $2 per customer there to whatever the village sees fit.
Joe, do you drive around one of those call before you dig vehicles?
You know what? Sometimes we'll have some signs out there. So yes, we're hitting up about every safety day you can think of. Believe it. As a matter of fact, Milton Township just had a great one just a few weeks back. So where they brought in the helicopters and they had the sand pit with silver dollars in it for the kids to go. It's a neat little event.
We do have an opportunity coming up for that at our Fall Fest.
We're in.
So we have a couple different emergency vehicles that are just going to be there.
We'd love to do it.
Yep, it's
Yes.
Saturday the 19th.
Saturday the 19th.
Yeah,
I can send
I think
information.
4 to 7. I think.
We can see if we can't make that a winner.
Yeah, awesome.
Perfect.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
Good deal.
might be a future gas guy.
Believe it. It's no doubt about it. And plus two, it brings in customers. You know what I mean? You pass out the safety message. You're also passing out business. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Great.
Any additional questions for us? Thank you again for your time. It's a privilege to serve the Village of Weston. Go Knights.
That's right. Thank you.
See you guys.
All right, we have a little bit of old business, starting with the storm damage, slash old bus garage update. I know Harold isn't able to be with us today. Did anyone have any questions on that? Do you know of any updates on it? Okay.
I know there was something in maybe in the Public Works report.
Anyone have anything to speak to on that? If not, I guess we'll just keep it there and work through that. Also old business, the background check policy. I know last time we left that is, just given some time to review, whatever anyone felt necessary. There's nothing urgent about that. It's just, an update to a policy. Any further questions? Any motion to approve the policy? Everyone had a chance to review it. Okay,
Well, with Rick not being here, maybe we go one more meeting.
that's fine. Any objections to that? Same thing with, resolution 2024-16. I believe we've done one reading on this. This is a resolution to approve the Wood County final plan for implementing and operating countywide 911 system. They were looking to get that done at a specific date. Do we still have another meeting or?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Has everyone had a chance to reach out about that or answer any questions?
I do have somewhat of an update for that. Their municipal representative from one of the councils. I talked to Sheriff Buslerson about that, and he indicated that, of course, the township has their organization. They already have somebody that they put on the board. And that it would take 14 votes through municipalities to put one of the council people on. And then I had Joe Fawcett from Perrysburg call me. And I don't know how he got my number, but somebody gave it to him. And asked me about a vote for Corey Kuhlman from Perrysburg. And I told him, number one, I can't make that decision. I think the council has to make the decision, but I did let him know that we had an individual that was possibly going to go for the board, which was Rick Easterly. And so we had a discussion about it. And of course, Perrysburg already has one of the Perrysburg Township guys. And I do believe there is another representative from Perrysburg that's on it. Can't remember his name. But I told him I felt as though that the smaller communities should be represented somehow, and he didn't disagree. He said, I never looked at it that way. He says there's more smaller communities out there than there are the major municipalities. So I talked to Rick, and Rick said that he was interested in trying to get the 14 votes, which means.
Yeah. So I also talked to Mark about that, and it was curious because he didn't really have any suggestion on the best way to reach out.
Just have to go to meetings is what you have to do and present yourself as being one of the candidates.
So Paul, are you aware of that at all? Okay. It's the county has a 911 board.
It's new.
Yeah. And there's room on that board for a village appointee or municipality. Yeah, appointee.
From
And-
council, from village council.
Okay, so it is village. Okay. There's also room for a township person, and the township made it really easy because they all get together, at I think they do it twice a year or something like that.
Association.
Right. Yeah. And so, he kind of like left it, wide open. Well, I don't know. He was kind of skeptical that anyone would,
Even go for it.
Yeah.
yeah, or go through the hoops. And so, I mean, is it appropriate only for Rick specifically to reach out? Can the Weston Council endorse him for that?
Yeah, you can nominate.
You can nominate, and then are we allowed to like send out correspondence to the other municipalities to,
Obviously, Joe Fawcett was calling on
right? I mean, yeah,
Corey Coolman, which I was surprised, that he called.
like I just,
How they're appointed. I haven't seen their bylaws. I don't know how they're.
17, what'd you say, 17?
Yeah.
17 of the however many, 14, okay, sorry. 14 of the however many municipalities need to basically also nominate or, well, approve for him or vote to approve him.
How many municipalities are in the county?
I thought he said it was like 20,
20.
something, 21. I want to say 21, but
Yeah,
I could be.
it's gonna take
So
14.
you get 2/3 vote.
Yeah, sounds like.
Yeah, he said that each of those municipalities have to pass a resolution voting
For that.
and then send it to
To
the commissioners. Yeah.
And that's, I guess that's my question. Do you think it's inappropriate for council to draft up that resolution with a letter of correspondence and a copy of our nomination
I don't know.
and distribute that to the other? Okay.
Yeah.
What's council think about that? I mean, I think it, serves Weston well to have, someone on that board for sure. And, the southern and western part of the county as well.
Yeah. No, we had a long discussion and Jeff did finally agree. He said, you're right. He said,
Yeah.
we're well represented up here with the county commissioner that's on it, the township trustee. And he says, and then we want to put somebody from Perrysburg in here.
And you can get together with the other village mayors. Just village or something.
Yeah.
It's like I pointed out to him, I said, we probably know a lot more about the small villages around here than you.
Right.
He kind of chuckled. He said, yeah, you're right. He said, there'll be more of them than
Yeah.
we have in larger.
Yeah. As well
When do
as,
they plan to vote?
I believe what he told me was that it would not have to be set until next year at the meeting. So there is some time.
That was
Yeah.
my question. If it's an ongoing board.
yeah, I think they already are working without that person.
They are.
Yeah. And so, there's not really like a
Or they
deadline
will
on it.
be after everybody gets their resolution.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So there's allowances for that, but obviously it's something they'd like to get filled. So, okay, well, do we have a motion to nominate Rick then? And we can start that process.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then, I guess, approval to draft something up to correspond with the other communities. Open for that.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We also need to do a motion approving the resolution.
So what you want to do first is,
We'll have to declare an emergency, right?
well, yeah, you'll have to approve or disapprove. So you have to vote to approve or disapprove, and then the resolution would be what we enter, approve or disapprove. Does that make sense? There's a spot on here that says the village hereby insert, approve or disapprove the final plan.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the plan and then the resolution. to
So-
commission.
Yeah, so the resolution would be us saying, yes, we approve, or no, we don't.
I think I did. Do we have a motion to approve or disapprove?
So moved.
To
Approved.
All right, so we have a motion to approve. Second, all in favor? Any opposed? All right. And then, do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Second.
Okay, and roll call, Ms. Kowski,
Yes.
Ms. Susser, Mr. Meyerholz, Mr. Babcock,
Yes.
Mr. Warner.
Yes.
And now finally, do we have a motion to approve resolution 2024-19, a resolution authorizing
16.
resolution 2024-16, a resolution to approve the Wood County final plan for implementing and operating a county 911 system.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Right. I have nothing specifically to report. Stephanie, anything?
I just, we had the PEP risk control visit on the 17th. And I sent everybody the report. We have to submit a statement of action within 60 days of the report. I did send it to the relevant departments that I thought fell into a few of the categories on there, so that they can help provide a narrative. The copy shop has finished processing newsletters and they should be delivered to the post office tomorrow. And we will have 2 representatives from GLCAP. I don't know if you guys remember Sue bringing that up our past few meetings. They're going to be attending our November 4th meeting. They plan to take 10 minutes to speak broadly about their services and community and economic development. And then I'm also working with them to get brochures that we can keep at the office to hand out to people. And then this round, we had 21 hometown hero banners that will go up for Veterans Day.
Enough polls?
We're gonna go down Oak Street. We might run out of poles on Oak Street, so. So the window, we've closed the window for the Veterans Day banners. That was on September 25th, but we still accept applications year round. But the orders will only be placed as upcoming holidays approach. And then the next one will be March 2025 for Memorial Day. And that's all I got.
Did we have a specified?
Yeah, we did when we
just
amended,
increased it.
when we amended appropriations a couple months ago, we included that with the banners.
So that will cover it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we increased it quite a bit just in case, so we didn't have to come back every time we made an order to do that.
Okay. And do we have a specific date that those are going to come down if we decided?
Probably a week after Veterans Day,
Okay.
and then they'll be stored and then go back up.
Yeah.
Probably a week or 2 before Memorial Day.
Okay. All right, anything to bring back to the administrator? Obviously, he's been busy at work, so we have some nice downtown lights. I know we have our road project just about done. Looks like they're finishing up some sewers. Any other questions?
Are the downtown lights LED
Yes,
and they're programmable?
they're not programmable, they're just white. There's, I guess, an opportunity to do that. They're just run on like some aircraft line, like some steel wire. So in the future, I'm saying,
Do
if
you
were to-
mean programmable, like to change the colors or
Yeah,
to?
they changed the
Okay.
Christmas lights.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, they're just white.
Good idea though.
All right, Ken.
We issued 2 permits in the last 2 weeks. One for fence and the other for a shed. The 16th of September, I sent pictures of Maple Street problem. Hall. They were given a window of time, and then they gave us a window that they'd have it done. And it appears that everything is cleaned up as far as the porch. Except for there's now there probably has been. There's a couch on the porch. And we don't have anything against having indoor furniture outdoors. So right now, you know, you can have a couch on the porch. I will be following up with a shed in the back that's got a hole that's big enough for me to jump through. As a building, but we'll take it from there. On the 18th of September, I sent pictures of Walnut Street House to Wood County Building Inspector, Wood County Health Department, and Paul seeking assistance on how best to handle the issue. That was a nice exercise. On the 23rd of September, I sent an email to the Ohio Department of Health regarding Taylor Street, regarding the use. He informed me of the number of people, what configuration the building needed to be, and gave me another contact for more in-depth information. I've emailed that person, and to date, I've heard nothing. On the 3rd of October, I resent the email to the Wood County Building Inspector and the Health Department regarding Walnut Street. On the 4th, I talked with the building inspector and he reported that they had nothing to do with it. Unless they start to rebuild, and then they'll make sure that everything that's there, that can be there and whatnot, and how it's going to be rebuilt. He also mentioned the fact that Lucas County has a land bank that communities can get some help on tearing down structures like this. Wood County does not have that. So that'll be a stretch. On October 7th, today, I received an email from the health department and was informed that the village could make an application to abate the nuisance, and that their representative will meet with me and will send out an abatement letter, see what can be done and how best to do it. He also gave me a section of the code that we have that will help abate the nuisance. But I looked up the code and that section doesn't exist, so.
Yeah, I think it would just fall back to, you know, our declaring a nuisance abatement.
And, you know, we've gotten a lot of inquiries about the apartments down at the end of the street. I can tell you that that location is a facility is currently licensed as an agricultural labor camp housing unit per the application and plan submitted by the facility owner. Agricultural labor camp license was issued July 30th with plan approval and final construction inspections. There's an annual license that will expire at the end of the year and will require renewal and pre-license inspection per code requirements. The approval was for one housing unit, barracks/dormitory style, with one common cooking, eating, toilet hygiene, and laundry facilities for 37 migrant workers in 3,700 square feet. So that's what they're approved of. I have gone to the next individual with the Department of Health to basically question, how can you go over our rules? How can you ignore our written rules and say, you know, and how is that fair to everybody in town who gets to follow the letters and we just make it up? And so far I've heard nothing in 3 weeks. The other two people I've talked to with the Department of Health, I've gotten an email back the day after I sent. So I'm going to be between a rock and a hard place, and I don't like to come up with an answer or what to do with this.
Who then initially approved it then? Was it the county?
Department of Health,
Just of the county?
no,
Okay.
of Ohio.
So they do have a license.
They do it.
Yeah.
For this guy, yeah. And he also let me know that there are 5 agricultural labor camps in Wood County right now. Well,
How many of them in town?
he didn't say, but they did. The first person I talked to said that there are several in Columbus, in the city limits of Columbus. So she said it's not undoable, or,
Uncommon.
but at least we know a little bit more now than we knew for the last 6 months.
All right. Anything additional? Anything for Ken? All right, thanks, sir.
All right.
A couple committee reports. We'll start with special ball committee from the 17th.
Oh. Sorry, I was prepared for cemetery.
You want to do that one first?
I got away from it now. Um, all right, let me do cemetery. At least know where to. All right, cemetery notes. On October 3rd, in attendance, Jody Domer, Diane Hilliard, Don Blandy, Robin Kaiser, Harold Boggs, Jessica Souser. Guests were Brittany Klukowski and Deborah Vollmer. They set deadlines for future foundation pours, with the month of May being for spring and the month of October going to be for fall going forward. They discussed the lantern tour logistics for 2024, which is going to be called the Time Travelers. And then they also discussed ideas to expand and do better next year and potentially pair with the Weston Library for 2025. Deborah Vollmer with Modern Woman came with questions regarding wreaths across America and a potential Memorial Day event in the future. That's going to continue to be discussed going forward. The budget and wish lists were reviewed, and the purchase of a computer for the fiscal officer is being requested for 2025. They discussed creating a plan and delegating monthly assessments. This is a result of the risk assessment that we had done by our insurance company regarding dangerous trees in the cemetery. So they're going to have the sexton go through on a regular basis and assess the trees and also give a report monthly about the trees that can be used to log for the risk assessments for the state. And then they discussed an incident where a grave was attempted, multiple graves were attempted to be sold on Facebook against the cemetery rules. And that is it for cemetery. Someone else can go and I'll look up.
Okay, Public Works Committee met on the 24th, at 6 o'clock. In attendance was Mr. Meyerholtz, Mr. Warner, Ms. Klukowski, and Mr. Easterwood. There's no update on crack ceiling yet, but I assume that's being done this year. There was a meeting for OPWC status on September 26th. That. No update on the sidewalk approaches. That's a project that's in the works. Talked about street light for Sycamore area and possible Washington area. That's also a project that's in the works. Talked about options for roof replacement on the bus garage with the cost for insurance, and then the possible tearing down of the building and rebuilding with a full barn. The risk assessment, recommendation was ensuring security, by a possible buzz-in option, second entrance, a buzz-in option and a second entrance. I guess
I think it was something to do with the back door.
Yeah, okay.
The back door.
Yeah, there were noted water issues with the back door. And there was some talk, okay, and that goes in to say that they talked about the water deflection and the egress on the back door. I guess they're still on track, and they did some discussion about their $75,000 budget for next year, planning for the OPWC projects and state infrastructure bank loan. And got actionable items here. Move forward with street light area placement. Is there a document in here that shows that? Does anyone know?
I think it was just to move forward with.
Getting a quote probably.
Yeah, I think.
I thought they had a number.
Yeah, they do have a number.
Yeah, 20,000.
No, that's what's available.
It's available in there.
I,
I don't think we have a number. I don't think there was a quote.
yeah, there is no quote yet.
Okay. I guess we'll make sure that we get some paperwork around for that, and then we can actionable that.
Yeah.
Or action that item next time.
All right. What was the status of or what happened at the OPWC meeting on September 26th? Or what was it? Or anything?
We did not get awarded, but they did say there is another possible chance in November. So I told them to send me the information on that when they have it.
On the agenda tonight, isn't it?
But
Do you have to approve for that?
Or
Or do you submit in November?
no, that,
that's
they
what
haven't,
part
they
is.
haven't gave me any updates on what that is. That'd be related to OPWC. It said it was a small communities funding, so maybe they give smaller communities a different chance. But during their meeting, because I had reached out and told the person that sent me the date of October, I said, hey, you gave me the wrong date. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then they gave me updates through their meeting.
And that's why I wasn't at, I had planned on being there. And then I double checked with Stephanie, and Stephanie told me it was October, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, hopefully we can make it
yeah,
to that meeting.
Yeah, I'll keep following up with them too to make sure they don't miss sending us the information on that and make sure they give us the right date.
I know also stormwater is on Public Works agenda, and I had a conversation with someone from the engineer's office. It wasn't Mr. Whatever the engineer's name is, I apologize. But I think the next guy down, and of course I was, talking with him about our ditches and the whole list and, how do you make the list go faster? And apparently there's no way to make the list go faster. However, they did say that if we identify any problems in our ditches that are resulting in backup, aside from just normal vegetation, so if we can identify areas in our ditches that are clogging and stopping something from being drained, where it looks like you could go in and clean like kind of a smaller area, that if we could identify those, that they will hop on those in a much quicker manner. And so, obviously I wanted to talk to, Rick and Harold about that, but,
Are they responsible for the ditch along the railroad track, Silver Street?
well,
It's a heated debate.
yeah, I think so. I think that's easy to prove. If you look at their map, they have like the smallest map of Wood County. And so every ditch is just this tiny little line. And then their ditches that they cover are like a highlighter width. And so they have one line, coming down that area. We have two ditches within that. And so they're questioning, whether that line, but I think that it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to zoom in on his own map to show him, like,
Right.
you have two highlighter marks here, so both sides of the railroad track is yours, and he said he would research it further.
I made the same appeal to him, and so he didn't have a problem if it was a county. I'm trying to think what their term is, but taken care of by the county.
I'd be interested in them tackling that project down there of taking that
Yeah.
retention area out.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
That's a major blockage.
Okay. Yeah.
Come out.
Well, and so, yeah, anyway, I think there's an opportunity there to do some work in identifying some, instead of saying, hey, all of our ditches, need cleaned, maybe we can pinpoint some areas and that's kind of a different deal. So, just want to report that.
If you talk to him again, I would definitely ask him what's gonna take place if they plan on cleaning it. And residents have sheds and everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that doesn't put us in a good
I
position.
know.
So I even suggested maybe putting out some communication sooner rather than later to those residents to make them aware of that and see if we can't get some of it, taken care of. That's an excellent point. So
I'm sure if they come in to survey it before,
Mhm.
they look at it, you're probably gonna go down the list even further if I had to guess.
Well, yeah, let's do our best to avoid that. Okay, special ball committee.
All right. I can't find the typed. So I have to read from my right, but it was on 9/17. Rob Meyerholtz, Dean Babcock, and Jessica Souser were present. We discussed the differences between needing a contract and drafting an ordinance. The contract will stipulate leasing, and the ordinance will stipulate the passing off from Village of Weston to whatever 501c3 they create. Under the draft contract, we've talked about having porta pots, utilities, picnic tables, flower pots, the mower and the use of the drag, stipulations built into that contract as well. And then building and lands need to be addressed in that contract. For the ordinance, one of the major topics was that they will no longer be under our purchase policy, but they will need to either submit a request to council in person or in writing for approval of their expenditures. It can be a blanket so that Stephanie can put the purchase orders and council can approve that once they're 501c3. We also discussed the equipment and the transfer of ownership. We want to double check that. And if we can't do an official transfer, doing a potential lease for $1 if necessary we need to check into insurance, how that all works as well. And then one thing that came up, Rob suggested potentially taking on, it's a new suggestion, potentially taking on all expenses and charging the minimum lease amount, potentially $1, for everything for the ball field. So not having them pay utilities, not having them pay garbage disposal, not having them pay porta pots, because it is a park and we don't charge other people to use the park, taking on the expenses and letting them use the park like everyone else. So that is something that's new on the table to discuss and think through. And then, of course, if we do go that route, we'll need to send that to administrative process because we have to figure out where to get that money for. So as far as actionable items, thoughts on that idea so that we know how to go forward with an ordinance and a contract. If we are paying everything and letting them use it free of charge.
My thought process on that is they're taxpayers just like everybody else. And for the most part, all those ball players and the volunteers and everything are already taxpayers. Why are we gonna double them up?
It would free up a big chunk of their money to do different things, like if they wanted to apply to upgrade the building that they do concessions in, they can start saving up to do that and then present council with an idea. So
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I hope that we can find some funds to make that happen. Anything else?
Our next meeting is scheduled for October 24th at 6. It's a Thursday.
What was the date again?
October 24th, Thursday at 6.
All right, we had a safety meeting from the 23rd.
In attendance is Kathy Hyman, Tim Schroeder, Jamie Schroeder, Rick Easterwood, Brittany Kukowski, and myself. Meeting minutes from the previous meeting was approved. Currently, at that time, they had 264 runs. Work continues on the drug acquisitions from Wood County Hospital. I guess there was some time issues of picking the stuff up, but they're trying to work through that. Possible purchase of Lucas and Pulse Ox monitor with the grant money that they received. Check contracts with entities for an extension clause, which I did confirm with Stephanie. It is in the contracts as we have them. I had a meeting with Kathy, Jamie, and Tim for October 2nd was scheduled at 3 p.m. for the new EMS program for pay. And our 914 unit is currently at Thayer's for repair. I touched base with Kathy today and she indicated it's
ready. We just,
It's ready.
we were busy today. We couldn't get over there before 5. We were on runs, so it'll be back tomorrow.
okay. And there were no actual items needed at the current time.
Cool. How are the pay discussions going?
We've had that meeting on October 2nd and it was a good meeting. There was some things being drafted up, which Kathy just sent to me today. Scheduling and also policies for scheduling. So we are going to present that at the next safety meeting for our rest of safety committee's review and also Kathy, Jamie, and Tim. So it looks good what I saw so far. And I did reply to your email, so. Awesome.
I've been a little busy this afternoon.
I guess since we have our chief with us, anything to add?
Not really.
Okay.
We're busy, just, we're busy as always. And 190, their area is gonna want to borrow 914, like they do every year for the Apple Butter Festival. We loan them the ambulance and then they use it, to transport or whatever. So I need your permission to go ahead and do that. I get a hold of Jeanette. She gives me a thing that it's their insurance for the insurance. So I just need you guys to tell me if that's okay.
Okay.
Didn't know if we'd get it back in time, but we will have it back.
Motion to approve that. It's something that we've done many times.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
All right, awesome. Since last meeting, we also had a planning commission get together to hear a variance. In attendance were the planning commission members, Sue Clanton, Shirley Moore, Bob Desmond, Rick Easterwood, Jeremy Schroeder, and then the interested parties, Paul Lopez, Kendall Kissinger, and Josh Ray. The variance was for a fence. Paul spoke about the details of the situation. It was noted that he's replacing what is currently a chain link fence. And so the new fence would use the same footprint. Rick noted that there would be no visual impediment. The reason it needed the variance is because they're requesting 6 feet in or 8 feet, 6 feet,
6 feet.
6 feet in the side yard, and of course they're on a corner lot. And so anyway, he noted that there was no visual impediment and that there's no sidewalk and the fence stays pretty close to the house. The mayor discussed just kind of the process of the variance and what criteria it needs to meet. Mr. Ray was in attendance and he asked for more information on why the variance was needed in the first place. And Bob took that opportunity to speak on why the process is necessary, even if this one variance seemed pretty straightforward. And then he also spoke about the easement in the alley and suggested that they communicate with Toledo Edison just to double check that there's not going to be any problems with that alley easement or utility easement, I guess would be the right word. The variance was approved. Upcoming meetings, we have Parks and Rec on the 9th at 6:30. We have administrative process on the 14th at 6. We have community development and public affairs on the 15th at 6. Public Works on the 22nd at 6. And currently we have a safety meeting scheduled for the 28th at 6. We have a note on here to talk about that date.
I am unavailable that night due to a ceremony, so I requested that it be moved to the 29th at 6. And it was mentioned that we would talk about it at the meeting here instead of at the safety.
Is there any problem with moving it to the 29th?
That is on a Tuesday, is that correct?
It's just one day.
Kathy?
I have to check and find out when Custer's trick or treat is. We do Custer trick or treat, but I think it's on the actual, I'm not sure if it's Monday or Wednesday. It might be the actual trick or treat day. I'm not sure. But I have no problem moving it. It's just we do trick or treat in Custer for the kids. So I'll check on that, find it back with you.
Okay.
I mean, it's okay. It's fine with me
Yeah.
as long as it's not trick or treat night.
We'll have to contact everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll reach out to everyone just to make sure that the 29th will work.
I also have in my calendar a sports initiative meeting on the 16th at 6,
Oh, correct.
5:30.
Yep.
I will double check with them because I noticed it's not on the village calendar. So I'll see if that was submitted and if that's the correct date. If so, I'll make sure to let you know so we can get it added.
Oh, I got you, the Sports Initiative Board. So 16th at 6.
It was either 6 or 5:30. Let me double check. I just had it.
Let's see, they have them.
5:30.
5:30, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll double check with them in the group text and make sure that is the correct date before we add it to the calendar.
Okay.
I also forgot to mention
Yes, sir.
that Kathy and myself will be attending the Middle Center council meeting tomorrow night. It will be EMS contracts, which I now have all of those.
Milton Center.
Yeah, Milton
Okay.
Center. We will try to get set up for Custer. Liberty, it will, Kathy probably won't make it, but I will definitely, 7:30 in the morning is when they have.
Wow, is that illegal?
have their meetings.
Absolutely not.
So, I was gonna ask them if we could Zoom that meeting, they would be able to. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get to that since they're one of our largest.
Yeah.
Contracts,
Okay.
but they also they meet twice.
I guess be glad it's not at 6:30 in the morning.
Being retired, Rob doesn't see 7:30.
All right, so a little bit of new business. We have, let me pull it up. We have a resolution authorizing the Village of Weston to participate in the Wood County Park District Park Grant Program. And Stephanie noted she did not get the correspondence, and I apologize. That seems that correspondence was going to the mayor. And so I'll make sure to forward that on from now on. So this is resolution 2024-19. Due to timeline, we'll have to declare an emergency. Do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
What are we gonna participate in?
I was gonna say, if we don't have anything to apply for, then we probably don't need to pass the resolution.
If we pass the resolution, I mean, we can figure out what to apply for.
Well, the deadline's the 18th. That doesn't give
It's,
anybody much time to put something together unless it's a real simple
I mean, I
application.
feel like that application is pretty simple, like even if it's a shelter house
But I mean-
or something that we've applied for before.
Yeah. I had suggested when I sent out the information on it, something simple like I know there was a committee that talked about getting another or adding a big information thing down at the park. That might be a good opportunity. Mulch is always a thing. And then I know that there's some parks that are lacking benches near some structures. So those could be some easy ones that you can pull quotes for quick, like a shelter house. I think that might take a little bit more.
I was just thinking
brainstorming
of things that we've applied for before and could just kind of,
You'd have to have a recent quote in order to make it viable.
I mean, that's 2 weeks. I mean, it's true. It's before another council meeting. So there's a box on there that says, you know, are you willing to do a match? We could just put no and keep it, you know, a smaller project.
Well, I would advise the mulch, quite honestly, because I know we're gonna be due for that, correct?
And we just,
Through insurance.
It's been just a year ago that we did it.
Yeah, what we did was we topped off what Renewed Outdoors thought needed it right then and there, but it's gonna need topped again, and then the other ones that weren't addressed at that time
My
probably.
fear with the mulches is that, if I'm not mistaken, you can't apply for the grant and include labor in that, right? Could we have someone that could actually spread it?
Well, I think with this one, it's sprayed in, so it's
Yeah, but
part
can
of that
we-
playground mulch program
Okay.
that they provide, so,
That would be,
I mean,
that's
yeah.
viable.
I like the idea of replacing some of the older benches. I mean, some stuff that we have already out there, you know, that needs,
I like the idea of the benches better as well. However, with the deadline, I would think, and the cost, and I would think that the mulch would be kind of a better chance,
I do too,
and that we could take advantage of.
rather than get pressed into it by the insurance company again.
It's
any other discussion?
11 days away, right?
Yeah.
That's really short.
I mean, they can be projects of all different sizes. I mean, I will say that we haven't been awarded it in a few years, and so I feel like whatever we do, like, we have a good shot. I mean, there's been some,
I don't think you submitted last year, did you?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, it was for the basketball.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot about
it was too big. Is from what I was told.
that.
all we have to do is approve that, you know, the resolution that says that we're going to apply. And we don't necessarily have to know exactly what we're applying for tonight. Right?
But when are we going to decide?
Yeah, we don't have.
Who and when are we deciding?
Vote for it.
Yeah, and
You don't think that that's something that could be done like over email if someone has some ideas and
We have an idea. I'm totally about your side about the shelter house. I just,
no, I mean, that was just,
with the 11 days away. And given the fact that mulch is something we are going to need, we can be proactive with mulch. We have a good chance of being awarded it. And I think that that is,
I like mulch. We know we're gonna need it. I
I
mean,
think we're being
benches
proactive by
over
applying
time.
for a real simple one.
Yeah.
The grant thing, I have faith is going to be taken care of here within the next year. I think we're going to have better luck here. So I think by utilizing this smaller one that is simple to fill out, I think this is, I
Well, I
think
would
we're,
have also liked to have Parks and Recs input into what they think they ought to be pursuing rather than just us. What you have the board or the participants. I should say.
that's, they're not meeting or we can,
Well, they're meeting Wednesday, yeah.
okay, they're meeting Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I guess I was just noting that the ordinance just, literally says that, the village is authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to participate in the program and to apply for, if approved, accept grant monies that benefit Weston's parks. But I mean, mulch is fine. Motion
The
to,
layout. I motion to approve the resolution and the idea that you
do you motion to,
suspend the rules.
yeah.
Yeah, I do that too.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Mr. Babcock,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerhold,
Yes.
Ms. Suster,
Yes.
Ms. Kwiatkowski.
Yes.
And now, a motion to approve resolution 2024, authorizing the village of Weston to participate in the Wood County Park District Grant Program,
Second.
applying for mulch. First and a second, all in favor?
It is applying for mulch, correct?
That's what we just said.
Just
Well, no, I'm-
do that as a second vote. So
Yeah.
approve the resolution.
Approve the resolution, then we approve mulch.
Okay.
Mulch, yeah.
All right, so we have a first and a second. Also note declaring an emergency. All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? All right, and then, a motion to apply for mulch.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll send everyone, I did reach out to them for an updated quote because I couldn't use, obviously, the
Right.
2 years ago's quote. So I'll send that to everybody so you know what amount's
From the
being
same
applied for.
place, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They do playground specific mulch that the insurance really likes, so
Has,
Really nice after last time they did it, so.
they got it done super quick.
has council reviewed the bills? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Is there a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
I request, roll call.
Who was first again? Sorry,
I was.
Craig.
A roll call to pay the bills?
Second, who was second?
Dean.
Dean, okay, sorry.
Is there a reason for someone to
Yes.
abstain?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Me.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can ask who abstains, but
I recently learned that when you have like a blanket approval of bills, if there's an issue with one bill, you ask to remove that bill from the blanket approval packet. And then you approve the rest of the bills and discuss the removed bill and pass it and do a vote on that one specifically by itself.
Or he can just abstain from
I can
all.
just abstain from all of it.
it's not a bad idea though.
I agree. It works either way.
I saw it in there. You can ask that you remove that one from the packet and then abstain from specifically just that one.
Doesn't matter to me.
Well, let's do that because I mean, then the rest of the bills, are approved by council. So what are you requesting to?
The bill for third generation printing for the EMS
Okay,
votes. Just so we clarify it, the company is owned by my wife, not me.
okay, so,
Council now votes for that amendment to the bill's presentation.
To remove the third generation. I make a motion to remove the third generation bill from council's
from this motion, yeah, or from the bills to be approved.
Yeah. Bills to be approved.
Okay, in a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, and then a motion to, I guess,
Approve the larger.
yeah, approve all the bills except for that one that was removed.
So moved.
A second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Any opposed? And a motion to approve the EMS codes supplied by Third Generation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
I abstain.
Miscellaneous, Parks and Rec is looking to do a road closure for Fall Fest on the 19th. It will be, did a map get put in here?
No, it was
Okay.
never sent a map.
Okay, so it'll be Mill Street from Shirley's alley to Main Street, and then the southern part of Main Street, and also Locust Street from the alley to just past the maintenance building. So is there approval to
So
close?
Mill Street all the way to Taylor
Mill Street isn't.
Oh,
Street, Main Street from Mill to Taylor.
no, just to pass the maintenance building or that intersection, just past Locust. All in favor? Or, well, a motion to do that, I guess.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And then, for the Prairie, we also have, letters from the Henry Wood Sports Alliance. They're, presenting or, yeah, so they have presented 1,000, to the nature or to the Pocket Prairie, and then K&K is, offering to donate the orange construction fencing, that will go around the area. And noting that once it's no longer needed, they'd like it back. We have a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Okay, so moved. We got quite a few visitors
Oh,
with us.
I got one other item to add, which is why Red is here. I'm sorry.
I'm here to visit.
I talked to Red today across the street at his new business. And he had made a request that we possibly take the tree down that's hiding his storefront and sign. It can't be red. No pun intended.
Already 80.
I told him we'd bring it before council to determine what can be done about that. I hate to say it, but for business, I think it would be a pertinent thing to do.
I don't mind helping in any way that it needs help, even if it means replacing that tree. I know some people are weird about trees, so if we got to replace the tree, that's cool. We just readdress it again in another 10 or 15 years, but
It is invasive.
It's very invasive.
Yeah,
I had a sign and it was $3,800. You can't see that stuff.
I know the previous owners had complained to me previously about the birds that live in the tree and poop all over the front of the building and the sidewalk and everything, so.
That had been a long-standing issue.
maybe we can just work on a little plan on paper and,
I'm good with whatever.
um, yeah. And we'll just take it to our Public Works Committee and we'll work it through like that. We can be as quick as possible,
Yeah.
next month or
Oh,
so.
yeah, as long as it's on the board and people are talking about it, figuring out
Okay, I see where you're coming from,
His
yeah.
planned opening is November 1.
November 1st. Yeah, that's, it's all pending health department stuff, but
Great.
it looks, if you guys walk through there, you'd see it. It looks like it'll probably all pass, so. but I'm sure they'll find something.
I'm not the health department, but I'll tell you what, his kitchen's really nice.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So I'm
Congratulations.
excited about that. Yeah. Okay. Did you have anything else for council?
No.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be an active part of the community, so I showed up.
I know, we love you. We also liked seeing you at our Parks and Rec event. We had not too long, it was a block party.
Yeah, anything you guys do, we always want to help support it, be a part of it.
Love it. Okay, we have Ryan with us.
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself. I'm part of a new organization called Property Rights Ohio.
Okay.
We've been doing some work out here in Wood County. I just want to come by, say hello, because we're starting to get our face out there a little bit more.
Okay, what's your organization about?
So we go around the state trying to protect the property rights of landowners, specifically in agriculture. But yeah, I just want to stop by, see what was going on here in the village, going to some trustee meetings around the area as well.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
I'll stop by, say hello.
Very
And you
good.
guys can feel free to reach out to me on that email I left for you. You have any more questions? I don't want to take anyone's time up, but
No, we still got 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, could you perhaps tell us why you feel that property rights are being threatened?
yeah, so one of the biggest reasons that we see around the state is with renewable energy and energy in general. When a landowner makes that choice for their land, you see bans come in and people go out there and ask for them to not be allowed to do so on their land. But we all to go around do. I know the natural gas guys were in here. Same thing for that. We'd go out there and support a landowner's choice to do that with their land. And we just see like this being the start banning the rights to property now. Further down the line, it could be someone telling you what you can and can't plant, what you can and can't grow. So try to do some general outreach, not here to ask anything of anyone, just want to introduce myself.
All right, cool. I hope you learned something about the village.
Do you have a website?
Yeah. I can leave, I got a couple cards for that as well.
Are you mainly interested because of the solar fields that's being proposed? Is that one of the interests?
I didn't know there was one being proposed out here.
Okay.
Sorry, I brought it up. But that's why I come out here to these things, to learn more about the community, what the sentiment is, just in general.
Shirley.
I don't have nothing.
Okay. Red, nothing. Appreciate it. Christy?
Here for executive session.
Okay. Kathy? Anything different for council? And Mario?
No.
All right. You here with the government class?
Yeah.
I love it. Sure you have no questions?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Did you grab an agenda?
No, do it.
There's one right up there. It'll help you with your assignment.
All right. And finally, Mr. Ham.
I didn't interrupt during the discussion concerning the possibility of tearing down the bus garage and putting up a pole barn and so on. I'm just wondering if there's a possibility of including a family style restroom that would be year-round facility. Because once the porta potty disappears after the ball season, that park is void.
That was in part of the discussion during the public work committee.
So it was-
When we were looking at just tearing it down and replacing it, Mr. Meyerholtz did bring up a plan that could involve a restroom, and
Okay,
it seemed favorable. We would just have to look at the cost of it.
And that's certainly something that, we can steer towards Christy, our grant writer as well, because we're obviously in the beginnings of working through her list. So, yeah, I mean, that's great that you bring that up. Thank you.
the other question I'm wondering about, it does involve Christie, because we haven't heard anything back. The public hasn't heard anything back. You guys have, but I have, of what is being accomplished from her position. So, is she just researching what are possibilities, or is she actually writing grants for us?
So right now she's identifying, so she's identified, I think 28 grants, 27 or 28. And we've met with her as a committee and we plan to meet with her again as a whole. But we've kind of taken those grants and figured out which committee or committees, could benefit from that. And so those will kind of be made aware to all those committees. And then, we can continue to do the brainstorming and see if anything lines up. And then it will be, those committees, through council, bringing that, back to Christie, and then she will do the applying. And so there's been no applications yet. But, we're past the, kind of initial identification of them. Not that she won't identify or couldn't identify more along the way. But yeah, she's gotten us quite the list to work with, and that's just being worked through with the committees.
And transparency wise, is there some place that we can see what her suggestions are?
You can request it.
Is it possible that could be made public?
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why not.
She's in this meeting, so she may be able to kind of give an idea if that's something that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to share the spreadsheet on screen now if you guys are interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely put it on the record.
Cool.
Do you have to?
I don't know. I think
I don't know if you can share on that.
she should be able to share it.
Could you
I
just,
don't know if it's because I have a thing up right now, if it will let,
I think you have to give her
Permission.
to be like the presenter.
let's see here.
It looked like it let me.
Nope.
Oh, there you go.
Great. Well, thank you, council, so much for having me tonight. I sincerely apologize for being late. I was having some technical issues. I'm going to keep my video off because my internet is a little unreliable where I'm at right now. As the mayor shared already, the steps that I've done so far is research what funding opportunities are out there based on what has been identified by your community as various projects that you would like to be funded anywhere from now to the next 5 years. And I have identified 38, I think it is. 1 second.
38.
Whoops, a doodle. Yeah, 39, because Stephanie just sent me over another one. 39 funding opportunities that I think if you wanted to pursue, you could be competitive for them. And then the next step that we did is we put in this new column where we identified which committee we would want to send this information to tell them about the different opportunities. So I think what might be most helpful is if I just run through what this spreadsheet says and does. Does that sound okay to you all?
Yeah.
Great. So in this spreadsheet, the first column, we have the deadline. You'll notice that not all of them have a deadline. In fact, like less than half of them do. Others are seen on a rolling basis, and that's more common with some of the private foundations, company foundations such as like T-Mobile and State Farm, as well as a lot of the USDA funders. The next column will say who the grantor is, so who's funding this. And then the next column will say what the name of the grant is. And in this column, all of them have a hyperlink where you can go, you can click on it, and it will take you to the grant information. The next column I have is about the project category. So we identified 3 different project categories. They were economic development, community development, and infrastructure. You'll notice as you scan through these, most of the opportunities that I found were in the infrastructure and community development categories. I only found a couple underneath economic development. However, that does tend to align pretty well with the priorities that you all have assigned the work. So the very first thing you said you needed to work on is your stormwater drainage. And so there's quite a few things on here about stormwater. I already talked about the committee column. And then I have a column in here about how much the funding typically is. And then if a match is required, because that's pretty important for you all, you'd want to be really strategic about what you're applying for, depending on how much match is required. Then I have some notes in this column talking about what project I think aligns best with the funding opportunity. The fitness column, oops, doodle. The fitness column is my overview on how likely I think it would be for you to be funded. And then your priority. So when we made the list of all the different projects you wanted to work on, we took that a step further and said, this one is the most important, this one is medium importance, and this one is low importance. And just considering, like, are we going to try to apply for this in the next, 6 to 18 months versus 3 to 5 years, is kind of what I was considering there. And so this spreadsheet should serve you guys for many, many years down the road. I was just checking. I thought I heard a chat.
You did. I think it was just asking for it to be made available to the public, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what we can do is maybe format that in a way to where there's like some context and we can release that. to the
I have
public.
a plan. I want to get, so we have on our website, we have a spot that has like Parks and Rec stuff, because some of those are very specific, and I want to do one that's like economic development, infrastructure, like upcoming projects. And that would be a great place to put that, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to put that together. So those that do want to see this like right away, I would say just put in a request for it, and I can send that out until I can get that section put together. Because to format this for our website, it's gonna
take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, there's going to be kind of lots of evolution in the list as we start to like bring it to the committees, because you'll see that some of them might have 3 different committees listed, and that's because it's kind of broad, and it could go a couple different ways depending on what the opportunity is, I guess. Anything else, Chris?
I was just thinking, Stephanie, it might be easiest if you want, I can just print a PDF of this first one and you could share that out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can try to get it on the smallest amount of pages possible. Of course. Yeah. Great.
And also print that is readable.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, honestly, I can only put like this many on the sheet for it to be legible, but we'll see what I'll mess with it a little bit.
Okay.
Council, did we want to talk today about what the next steps are, or did you want me to specifically look at the ones that are coming up for deadlines in the next couple of months?
Yeah, maybe we should. Yeah, if you could put some work into identifying the ones that are time sensitive, But I guess on our end, you know, like I said, we need to,
I don't think any of the committees have really
Yeah.
seen this whole thing.
Well, they haven't really met yet either,
Right.
so.
yeah, administratively, I think we need to, you know, get this and chat with all the committee chairmen about it.
But if we
Okay.
had something that was time sensitive. if we had something that we-
I think it's pretty imperative, for the time sensitive ones that, you know, anything you can do on your end to kind of usher it along. Yeah.
Sure. The only one I see coming up in November that falls in the high priority is this one about sidewalks. So if it was the one that was for stormwater, I would be like, let's hustle along on this one. But I think that I can look at it a little more. We still got a month and a half, but yeah, I would just
Yeah,
flag this one for you guys to maybe look
Yeah,
at sooner rather than
absolutely.
later.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that that's on, that one specifically is on the Public Works agenda, because we have identified, you know, over, you know, the past years, a couple different sidewalk projects that we'd like to do.
Yep.
Sure.
So,
And there just wasn't enough information online for me to find. This is the one that Stephanie sent me recently about required match and all of that stuff. So if you want me to, what I could do is I could reach out to them and try to get a little bit more information about required match, and that might help you guys make the decision on if you want to focus on it
right.
now or if you want to put priority on
And
stormwater.
I guess at some point, you know, once we kind of get this information to the committee and you know, the sparks start happening, we'll need to know kind of more in depth about each of the grants. And so how do you think is appropriate to kind of take each grant to the next level, I guess?
Yeah,
Is it really just us kind of, you know, cherry picking and,
I would think the committees would make a decision on that.
yeah.
based on
That's what I'm saying,
what's
though.
being presented.
I'm just saying there's just very basic information about them right now. And so obviously there's a lot of information about each of them probably. And
Sure.
so, you know, how do we take them to the next level?
Yeah, I would say there's a variety of ways you could tackle it. I could meet with all your committees again if that's something you guys wanted me to do, and I could sort this spreadsheet for them so that they weren't looking at all of them. They were only looking at the ones that were relevant for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you could say like, pick your top 3 or whatever, you know. Or they could look at it on their own, send me questions, however that would work. I'm curious, Stephanie, do you go to all the subcommittee meetings?
No.
No.
Wish.
Seems like I don't have time for that. Is there anybody?
I go to one of them, the administrative process one is the one I attend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do typically attend all those meetings.
Sorry, is that Craig or Jeremy? I'm just looking at
Jeremy.
the spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Jeremy.
it's me.
Okay, great.
Yep.
But if they make a decision, how would they give that information back? Would there be like a council report, or would they send that information?
They would have to report
Yeah.
to the council.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so committees can kind of plan things and put forward suggestions to council. And so we kind of do that as like an actionable item, you know, from the committee report. And so maybe we should kind of line you up to attend each of the committee meetings so that, I mean, we'll get this information out to everyone before their committee meeting, but that way, each of the committees can kind of talk with you through it if that works.
Yes, definitely. And I can also type up like a little, this is how this spreadsheet works thing.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think that's kind of what I was hoping we could provide with that if we were just going to publish the document as opposed to it just being a spreadsheet. You know, we obviously here have lots of context. That
Yeah.
would be great, Christy. Thank you.
And also that reminding everyone that this is a working document that will change all the time.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll have Stephanie get you like our next committee meetings and hopefully we can kind of line you up with each of them.
Fantastic. Thanks so
Any-
much for your time
any-
this evening. Any last
Yeah.
questions?
Any questions? Any questions virtually?
Hi, yeah, I have just a quick question. So when we started this project, what were the categories and priorities that you were asked to perform for this grant writing?
Sure. So my scope of work was meeting with you all, orienting to the village and just knowing like the historical context and getting all of the research that the village already had, and then doing grant research on the prioritized projects, establishing this spreadsheet that I have created. Then the next, the last category that we haven't done yet is the actual grant writing. And that is the lion's share of this grant is the grant writing portion.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I wondered if you were supplied a list of priorities previous to your investigation, such as a list of things that you were asked to apply it to, like.
You just have that document. Can you just share it to the screen? Ron, I apologize. We do have that document, as I told you last time, and I did not send it
I
to you.
can't easily put it on
I
that
think
screen.
I think I can get it if you give me just a second.
I was gonna say Christy might, yeah, because I have it just on one tab,
Oh, okay.
the way I
Yeah,
did
sorry,
my
Jeremy,
screen.
I didn't ever receive it from you, so I thought I'd just ask now. if
Yeah,
that's all right.
no, because we definitely did, and we'll show it here in a second.
I just always have a million tabs open, so whenever I share my screen, I try to pull this
I
one.
understand. I'm in Excel. I do a lot of Excel. I understand.
Okay. Okay. So here's the project prioritization spreadsheet that we put together. And it has the various projects that you guys wanted to consider, which category and what priority it was given, and the timeline. And so I have this filtered right now where it's by years, and then within the years by priority, I think. Yes. So all of these ones are things, if all the stars aligned and everything was perfect, which is not reality, we would hope to get applications in for in this next year in this priority level. If there were not like too many required matches and things like that. So you'll see the number one thing here is the drainage study and plan. And then that would lead to the year after that, hoping to get money for the actual work being done. But there's all kinds of stuff here all around, like life safety for the village hall, Main Street revitalization. I heard you guys talking a little bit about blight earlier, EMS staff, some stuff around community development. This is quite the long list. You guys have a lot of really great ideas. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Is that something we'll also post to share? And thank you for sharing that, actually. Is that something we'll be able to post on the web along with the other spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Requested.
You can always put in a record request for it.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to, like super quick, then yeah, email Stephanie, put in a records request. But yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the communication that we need to put out, I guess.
Yeah, I think, Jeremy, that's the list I had actually requested before, correct?
Yeah. You asked if I could share it with you, and I said yes. I was actually going to send you a document that we did in a committee. That version right there is Christy putting that document in a spreadsheet. I can still send that to you, Ron. That's not a problem.
Thanks. Appreciate it. And thank you for sharing that.
Yep. Do you have anything additional, Mr. Dallas?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Mr. Patel, anything for council?
Oh, no, just stay in a praise, Mr. Mayor.
I didn't catch that. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Patel.
He's on there twice. Jiggers is a lot.
The second, Mr. Patel? Anything?
No, second Mr. Patel is still here.
Okay. All right. I think that's everyone. Paul, anything for council? Okay. All right. Appreciate all the comments. At this time.
All right, I'll just make sure I have all my deliverables. So I am going to work on a PDF version to get to Stephanie of the tracking spreadsheet. I am going to look at that one that is due on November 30th to try to get some more information about match and all of that. This is how I make sure I'm not forgetting anything.
No, I appreciate
And there was a third thing.
Line up committee meetings.
Yeah, I'll send her committee meetings. Mhm.
Oh, and I was gonna type up this is how this spreadsheet works.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you, Kristen.
Appreciate you
Yep.
guys. Have a good evening.
All right. At this time, there's a request to enter executive session for personnel discipline discussion concerning paramedic and discussion of pending or threatening litigation. So do we have a motion to enter executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. Kulkowski,
Yes.
Ms. Suser,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholtz,
Yes.
Mr. Babcock, and Mr. Warner.
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, we'll enter executive session. We do report afterwards. Yes.
If someone wants anyone to stay, they should motion.
Yeah, we got-
Your motion to keep them in the meeting.
Okay. Kathy, you have any suggestions for council?
I was gonna stay if that's all right with Christy.
Okay,
Okay.
Christy, Paul.
Paul and Paul.
Well, and Paul and then Stephanie.
It's up to council.
Yeah.
Whoever they want.
Okay.
We have to.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll
Just be in my
we'll
office.
keep the list.
Motion to
Okay. A motion to approve those people to enter executive session with us.
Christy, Kathy, Paul, Stephanie. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Christy as well.
Chris.
Yeah, they said Christy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Yeah. So like I said, we will exit the executive session at some point, in which we're kind of required to tell you if we need to take any action. And so we'll let anyone know if they're,
Typically, if
they're still here.
a student is in government class, do they
Check it out.
stay through executive
Wait
session?
up.
Or can they get their thing signed now?
Football over there if anybody.
I was gonna say, maybe you should get it.
I'll sign your thing.
now And then you can go home.
Sign it now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I get to see any of that? Because I haven't seen nothing.
She's not seen the letter. I haven't, you told me
It
to
is
everything.
Yeah, you can see the letter.
information.
Who was the motions again, Rob?
Me.
Then,
Does she have to do a records request?
Yes.
She went,
Probably should.
can I give her a copy? I'll get you.
Paul's got it.
All right, so, council, discussed, a complaint, about a HIPAA violation. And, council discussed, what, if any, action should be taken. And so I want to give council the opportunity here, to, I guess, recommend, if any, and which type of action should be taken. So do I have a motion to, I guess, take any action?
I make a motion that no action be taken at the current time based on what we received just in the complaint.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor? Any opposed?
And thanks for all you both do.
All right, adjourned. Thank you.